the esteemed John Bradshaw is here on behalf of Vista Point versus Weiderman. And that would be Corey Weiderman. According to my notes, rent's $875 per month, and it was delinquent for several months. At the time of filing, it was $1,850. Mr. Bradshaw, what's the current delinquency?
So the current amount due, Your Honor, through the month of October is $1,925 in rent. The court costs are $200.50. Can you refresh my recollection as to your allowable late fee?
$40 a month.
All right, so I'll reduce that amount by $60.
I get $2,065.50.
Perfect.
All right, Mr. and Mrs. Weiderman, the law requires that you pay the rent or you'll be subject to being evicted. This is a first initial hearing. The law requires that I adjourn this matter at least 7 days. Now, when we reconvene, it will be November, and another month's rent will be due at that time. Do you guys have a plan to try to get caught up, or what's your situation?
Called earlier and talked to, I believe it was Christy, and we have, what did I say we had, Corey?
13.
I have 1390. I wrote it down. I had 1395, and I talked to the guy at Salvation Army, and he said that if we had 1350, he would pay 500 of what we owed. But they
All
were
right, well,
like,
that's a good start. Now, let's talk a little bit more about this. If we go to next Monday, it would be November 3rd, and another month's rent would be due. The only thing that'll cure this is paying the entire amount of the arrearage. But if you have $1395 plus 500, that's $1895, which is close to what's due. It's about
well,
180. Then if we add another $875 for November, plus 2065, plus another $40 late fee, it would be $2,980.
well, on mine, it only says that we're due, our rent is 1850 is what we owe. That's what it says on our eviction notice.
Well, that was filed in September. 1850 is what was owed as of September. It's now November, or October and November. So there's 2 more months. And so the total is going to be more than that, because your rent just continues to accrue as each new month starts. But you're making a good start. You're making a good dent on this. The law requires that I adjourn this 7 days. That would be November 3rd. That's next Monday. And we're already quite busy, but
Well, what I would hope to have happen, since they do have a substantial amount, and I'll talk with Ms. Collins, but that we would contact them and enter into a conditional dismissal, giving them the benefit of the extra week, because it'll be in next week, and try to come up with a conditional dismissal that allow them to pay that sometime in November.
all right.
And okay. Sorry.
All right. Now, well, that wouldn't take us to Monday, November 3rd at 2:15. Does that work?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, if we have the conditional dismissal in front of you and filed, Your Honor, would we need to appear?
No.
Okay, great.
So do you have their contact information, Ms. Collins?
You have their
Yes.
email, Chrissy?
Yes, I have their information.
Great.
All right. They're going to contact you and discuss this. I mentioned something in my instructions about a conditional order of dismissal. they could dismiss this case conditionally on some sort of a plan for you to get caught up with the rent. You're making a pretty substantial dent in this. I say this almost every week. It's easier for the landlord to keep a good tenant in there than to move one out and move another one in. But let's see what happens. So right now, it's set for a continued hearing next Monday at 2:15. If a conditional order is filed, nobody needs to appear. Otherwise, you need to come back and we'll discuss it further. I would give you 10 days from November 3rd to pay the balance of the rent or be subject to being evicted. So November 13th is kind of looming in the distance, in the near distance, if that's such an oxymoron. So Mr. Bradshaw's going to get a hold of you. They're going to discuss a potential conditional order dismissal. If that's entered, that would take care of it. If it isn't, we'll address it next Monday at 2:15. Do you have any questions? All right, you're good to go. Thank you. Expect to hear from Mr. Bradshaw.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Chrissy, I'll give you a call.
This is V Squared Ventures versus Selena Haley and Cody Schutzow. Jordan Harden is here on behalf of the plaintiff. One of their managing partners, Carissa Finnerman-Rarick, is here. And Selena Haley and Cody Schutzow are here. This is a new housing development put up on the edge of Centerville, which was an instant success. There were 9 units. I think there's more than that. Maybe there's 15 units of 6 apartments per building. So it's a lot of units. The rents are $1,000 or more, which is for us a pretty substantial rent. One thing you are doing, Ms. Rarick, I commend, is doing these sooner rather than later. You've been here with some other landlords that wait till they're 8 months behind before they file, and then it's too late to do anything about it. Ms. Haley and Mr. Schutzow, according to Ms. Harden, September's rent, late fee, October's rent and late fee is $2,080. Court costs of $188.69 and a water bill to the village and $80 a month for 2 dogs is $3,468.89. Is that still accurate, Ms. Harden?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's
With the
your
note that
position?
September, November will be due.
Yes. The law requires that I continue this matter at least 7 days, which would take us to next Monday. Do you have a plan to try to get caught up on the rent, or do you plan to move?
We'd rather not move. We'd like to work something out. I do have orientation at TH this week, and we're going to try some of them resources that you were talking about earlier.
Very good. Now, as Ms. Harden mentioned, and you heard me say in the previous case, another month's rent is going to be due by the time we're back. So you might as well add $1,040 to that, another month and another late fee, the 3,468.89 plus 1,040 to get current through November. Be $4,508.89 with $1,000 rent. It's not too hard to get behind. Now, the law requires that I adjourn this matter for 7 days. If you are in the process of getting some financial assistance, it could potentially be adjourned again. But theoretically, you would have 10 days from November 3rd to pay the rent or move, which would be November 13th. They do have a waiting list. Like I said, Ms. Rarick, is every unit filled?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you do have a waiting list?
I can't really say that we have a waiting list.
I bet you do. All right. Anyway, were a lot of money in a short amount of time. September, October, November, plus late fees, plus the dog. There'll be another dog fee also, and the water bill. Did you lose your employment or something?
Yeah, a month or so, or I'd say 2 months after we moved in, just a bunch of things happened to us, and we've just been trying to claw back into the rhythm of things, and it's been kind of hard. I mean, I could speculate on, we're trying to get our kids back from CPS, and I just don't want to say anything further into it. It's just been really stressful.
All right. Well, we'll address it next week at, that will be 11/3 at 2:25. I'm now 2:20. I think that other case is gonna settle. We'll do the other one at 2:30. So we're gonna revisit this. You're free to come to the courthouse or you're free to zoom in just like you have here. But we'll address this again next week on November 3rd at 2:20. There would also be an addition, apparently it's $40 a month per dog. So there'd be plus another $80.
It's $80 a month. There's 2 dogs.
Yeah, is it $40 per dog?
Correct.
Yeah, that's a lot. So anyway, there's another 80 onto that. 4,508, 4,588, 89. $5,600. So we'll address that further. At some point, you're gonna have to determine if you can't afford to live there, you might go with Plan B and try to figure out how to move. But we'll discuss that further next week. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, you're good to go. I'll see you next Monday afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
V-Square Adventures versus David Fusion and Stephanie Shank. Christine, are you on this one?
I am, Your Honor.
All right. They aren't here. Let me make my notes here.
Stutzman would go on YouTube because what if we leave for Florida and this case is still going on?
All right, this is a claim for rent through October. Rent is $2,080. We've got attorney fee, filing fee, postage and service of $480 in costs, water bill of $480. Oh, the costs are $188.69. Total due through October is $2,748. Look, I didn't know what the service was here. Shame on me. Served by attachment. Ms. Rarick, are they still there?
I'm not sure. The neighbor said that it's pretty quiet around there, that their van is there, but they haven't heard water running or any noise in there.
Well, the law requires that I adjourn this because we don't have personal service. I can't do a default. So we'll continue to November
Your Honor, I
3rd.
would say that David was served. He declined to sign the acknowledgement.
I can't tell. Let me look at the actual service, but there's no sense defaulting one and not the other.
Okay.
So we'll set it for 2:30.
I just mentioned that because Mr. Fusion told Officer Morse that Ms. Shank had already moved out, if you look at the notes.
No, let me take a look. They didn't give me a copy of that.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you.
I just have a note in the ROA, but I didn't actually look at the proof of service. As you know, he does a great job with it. But David Fusion, Stephanie Shank moved out per David Fusion a couple weeks ago. No other occupants. Left a copy with David Fusion. So are you arguing that that's substituted service?
Yes, they are a couple and have children together. So I just, based on what the officers indicated, there was no other occupants there.
Ms. Bauer, you have a theory on that?
I would say that if the case is not dismissed against the defendant that's moved out, then she hasn't been personally served.
Well, that's my fear. So I don't want to set it up. The safest thing to do is just wait. So we'll continue it. Sorry, Ms. Rarick. This will accrue another month's rent. So it'll be $1,000 plus a late fee when we convene next time, but that is probably the safest course of action. She was not served and she is on the lease. All right, we'll address this at that time. It sounds like it will be a default. And again, Christine, I appreciate the accounting breakdown sheet. It speeds things up so much and having a judgment in the file.
Yes, Your Honor, and I'll do
All
an
right.
updated sheet and an updated judgment for next week.
All right, thanks.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you,
Okay, you're
Carissa.
good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, before we go to our general civil cases, we have one more landlord tenant matter. And that is Terry and Larry Richmond versus Melissa Grant and Robert Grant. Melissa and Robert are here. Let me make my notes. Terry Richmond is here. This is a non-payment of rent case, rent $765 per month. At this point, Ms. Richmond, what's the arrearage?
Right at the moment, it's, the rent is $662.15. Court costs of $194.41 with a balance of $856.56.
So they've made some substantial payments, it looks like.
Yes, they have.
All right, Ms. Grant, your plan is to get caught up on this?
Correct. I'm just
All
want to
right,
know
you
how
made
much
it.
is left to pay, and then I was gonna try to pay what I could on my next paycheck, which is on Halloween. And then I have a plan to keep caught up in the following months.
All right, very good. Well, we're going to continue this to November 3rd
Okay,
at 2:30.
okay,
Now, another month's rent will be due.
correct.
So we'll add another $765, but you paid more than $1,000.
Paid 1,800.
And so that shows good. And Miss Richmond's always willing to work with a good tenant. So we should be all right. If you paid it all off, you don't even need to be here.
Okay,
But if you've not, I want you to zoom in like you did today, and we'll address this further next Monday at 2:30.
okay,
All right, next Monday is bigger, busier than today, but we'll make time for it.
What time was it Monday?
2:30.
2:30?
Yep.
Wasn't paying attention.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All
Thank
right,
you.
Good luck to you. It sounds like you're gonna get this caught up.
I
Meg,
have a
that's
plan.
all we had today for landlord tenant. Terry, I'll see you next time.
Okay, I'll see you
Yeah.
Monday or next Monday.
Yeah, thank you, Judge.
Our next matter is Sturgis Hospital versus Whitley Finks. Am I saying it right?
It's Finkus, but it's okay.
Finkus, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
This is a debt for $2,931.94 plus cost, interest, and attorney fees. Mr. Robert Goodman is here on behalf of the plaintiff. Defendant filed an answer indicating essentially the financial struggles that many people have. And also said she thought it was paid by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas, but apparently it was not. Then she indicates she would try to do a payment plan. Plaintiff filed a motion for summary disposition, saying essentially there is no material issue of fact, and the defendant hasn't stated a defense. So that's in the background. Mr. Goodwin, would you be willing to speak with the defendant in the breakout room and see if you can come to some accord?
Judge, let me update the court. We've been speaking to Ms. Finkus has an attorney, Thomas Becker, and we've worked out a payment arrangement with Mr. Becker and a conditional order of dismissal. With his authority, we had permission to sign his name to the agreement with some small changes to it, and we e-filed it, or didn't e-file, we emailed it to the court about 5 minutes ago. So I believe the matter is resolved by way of a conditional order of dismissal.
Very good. Do you agree with that, Ms. Finkus?
Yes, I do. 100%.
All right, Michelle, would you check the 3B civil inbox and see if we have a conditional order of dismissal? Very good. I didn't see any appearance from Mr. Becker, but maybe that's under the radar too. I've been gone for a bit. But I'll take you at your word. All right, you're both good to go. I'll find that conditional order and sign it. Ms. Finkus, their contact information is on the order. You've already been in contact with them. Do you have any questions?
The only question I would have is just like when we can start the payment plan.
Ms. Finkus, it's all detailed in the conditional order of dismissal. I just received an email that the court received it. You'll receive a copy of it, and it'll have payment instructions in there, how you pay our office. And if you have any questions, call us or have your attorney call us, okay?
Okay, I really appreciate you guys.
You got
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
And then, Judge, I do have one other matter with you today.
Are you on the Bronson Hospital matter?
Yes, I am.
All right, Mr. Penny couldn't get in, so I sent him an email. And here he is. All right, he's here. Good afternoon, Mr. Penny.
Good afternoon. Sorry about that.
Well, you're here now. This is file 25366GC. It's entitled Bronson Methodist Hospital versus Curtis M. Penny. We spent a lot of time arguing about a $565 debt. Mr. Penny is currently involved in a repayment plan with Bronson Hospital for some medical debts. He's paying $100 per month on an earlier debt. And as far as I can tell, he's made his payment each month on the 13th of the month. So he argued against a garnishment of his wages, arguing that he's involved in a repayment plan. The plaintiff, thank you.
You're welcome.
Says it's a different file. And I can't tell because the original judgment was $710.95, but the amount claimed is less than that, which would lead me to believe that something has been applied to this debt. With that in mind, Mr. Goodman, what's your thought?
So, Judge, this was sent over to our office to collect this total sum of $565.95 for 2 dates of service, those being June 16th, 2023 and October 9th, 2023. We, as we always do, we sent an initial demand letter, which has all the federal disclosures in it, including the disclosure that says if you dispute this debt, please let us know. We will provide you with validation. Mr. Penny availed himself of those protections, and he sent us a dispute. We responded and sent him a copy of the summary sheet, which details the 2 dates of service and the remaining balance due for each of those dates of service. And then in my cover letter, I say, if you have any questions, please let us know. We didn't receive any response, and we didn't receive a call from him saying, hey, I need more information, or I've been paying it. So then we moved forward and we filed the lawsuit when the matter wasn't resolved. And Your Honor, this is all detailed in our response. I hope it made it to your court file. And then he was personally served with the lawsuit. And then he also, on August 5th, he sent us correspondence and a screenshot showing that he was making $100 monthly payments on a balance of $654.11. Well, that balance didn't match up with any of the 2 dates of service that were the subject matter of this lawsuit. But irrespective of that, mistakes happen. And so I reached out to my client and I said, hey, look at this receipt that he sent us. I just want to make sure that that he didn't make any payments that were the subject matter of this lawsuit and these 2 dates of service. My client responded and said, no, there's been no payments on these 2 dates. And so,
well, that's not correct. The default judgment entered in May of 2025 in the amount of $710.95. Something has been paid on it because it's down to $500. And so the default was entered May 29th in the amount of $710.95.
where are you seeing, Judge, a current balance of $500 and something?
One is from his information. He shows a payment on 9/13/25, and again, where you're arguing this is a different dates of service. Last paid on 9/13. I'm assuming a payment was made on 10/13. This does not contain a court file number. But in your objection,
Yeah, and one of the things I'm not understanding is as soon as I got this information from you, Mr. Goodman, I did call Bronson and said, hey, I got this letter from the lawyer. I'm on a payment plan. Can you check my file and see if I have any past due? They said, no, Mr. Penny, you're on the payment plan. Everything else is clear and free. You're all set. So I can't give you that date because I didn't write it down, but I did contact the billing and made sure that I was current. And as I stand right now, next month I'll be down to a 0 balance due. So I just feel like I'm getting charged twice at this point. That's my contention.
well, I don't believe you are. I think in the case of the right hand, not knowing what the left hand was doing, he got sued on a couple of dates of service and these got left behind. I'm not sure the timing of the other cases. There is a theory that all known claims should be brought at the time of the lawsuit. But this default, 565 was the bill for the 2 dates of service. The additional is the court costs, which brings us to $710.95. I can't tell from the information that you have provided what those payments are going to. Was it part of a judgment in a case, or was it simply an agreement you made to pay the money back?
So it's a program Bronson has that you can make monthly payments based on your medical bill. So, in addition to some previous bills, I had a heart attack 2 years ago and I had some extra bills to pay on that. So I've just been paying monthly. And like I said, when I log on to my chart right now, it shows that, after next month, I'll owe 0 on everything due. So, I mean, I only have one guarantee or number on there, and I showed, on my chart, I ran it all the way back to 2020, and it doesn't have anything in there that I'm due from, a $500 standpoint or more. I mean, it shows that I'm caught up, so that's why I'm very confused.
Your Honor, I'd be happy to talk to it. I don't want to interrupt anybody. Let me know when it's my turn, and I'm happy to try and explain what's going on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. And I wish, my client, they're supposed to, when there's a matter in litigation, they're supposed to direct them to our office. What happens is these are, like I said, June 16th of 2023 and October 9th of 2023. When they become charged off, they no longer appear as an active receivable, and they no longer appear on your My Chart where a patient can go in and log in and see their balance. Unfortunately, it gets charged off and it gets removed as an active receivable, and that's what happens. And so, he sent the dispute, we responded to it. He sent that letter after the answer was filed. I again reached out to my client and confirmed that he's getting credit for those payments, but those are dates of service that are more recent. Those are dates of service that are not charged off. Those are dates of service that are not the subject matter of this lawsuit. As we sit here today, the current balance on this lawsuit is $783.65. There's been no payments that have been credited to this account. I'm sure that
Actually, that's not true. My paycheck 3 weeks ago was garnished some of those wages, so half of it should be paid at this point, just because my employer obviously got the notice and they have no, they need to follow what the court says, right? So they garnished half of my wages already.
That's right. And so because he filed an objection to garnishment, his employer receives a copy of that objection. It instructs the employer to continue withholding. Don't send the money to us. Don't send the money to the defendant. Wait for further order of the court. So as we sit here today, we have not received that money, but I am not surprised that his employer has withheld money from him. As soon as we get it, we'll certainly credit it to his account.
Yeah, I still don't understand, I went on this payment plan in 22. So I just don't know why the other charges wouldn't be a part of that. So, I mean, and I called billing and, again, you're saying that they write it off, but wouldn't they be able to see that from their standpoint and direct me that, hey, you have a claim, or you should call the attorney and work with them on this?
Well, it isn't good. Hospital debt is unpleasant. Bronson's better than some. I don't get very many cases from Bronson, frankly. But the hospital billing's always screwy. It comes in 4 years late. The people can't tell whether it was paid by their insurance company or not. And I'll say it again, the right hand didn't know what the left hand is doing. You're in a payment plan. They file a lawsuit for these 2 dates of service. You didn't help your cause because you didn't answer the lawsuit. You got defaulted. So a judgment entered in $710 and some odd cents, $710.95. So then you get a lawsuit that you don't answer, and you have a judgment against you, which is different than having a repayment plan on some previous debts of service. But from the hospital's perspective, it's like, well, hey, this guy's on a payment plan. Why don't we just put this $710 debt on the payment plan, as opposed to spending $2,000 in legal fees to collect $710? This hearing in and of itself is an expense to the hospital. So, and if half of it's been garnished, already, I'm sure you just want to bring this to a close. And everything Mr. Goodman just said isn't under oath. It's just his representation of what he believes happens here. It gets you know, as a layperson, people don't understand hospital billing practices. And it's like, why didn't you do this? But again, you got sued and didn't answer the lawsuit. And what you did is you didn't do anything until they tried to garnish your wages, which happens all the time. People get served with a lawsuit. They don't do anything about it. A default judgment enters. They don't do anything about it. And then they get garnished. And then they start to take action. Yes?
Actually, I responded in July with the first letter to Goodman before any of the, you know, garnishment happened. And then I sent a second letter in August once I saw that I was getting garnished. So I did respond before that, just for the
All
record.
right. Yeah, your letter is dated. Well, I can't tell.
August 5th. The
Yeah,
judgment was entered in
s-
May.
So how much do you believe they have garnished so far?
half of it, so 300 and whatever that works out, the math. And honestly, the next one, Judge, will be coming out here and you know, by Wednesday. But
Well, it's on hold right now.
I mean,
All right.
it'll be garnished from, you know, my paycheck, obviously.
Yes. Any final comment, Mr. Goodman?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I don't have to like this, but I will find that I'm just gonna let this go to an end. Garnishee shall release all released funds to the plaintiff. Half of it is gonna be paid. They're gonna take the other half. You're gonna have 2 painful weeks. This will be over with. It's not, if we're talking about $350 or so. It's different dates of service. I don't really like the way this all developed, and you did get defaulted. And then after the garnishment started, you reacted. But if I would have been you, I would have probably had the exact same understanding of the circumstances as you did. Hey, I'm on a payment plan. And now they're just gonna take it all out of your next check and this matter will be done. Again, I don't have to like it, but that's my ruling. And I'll deny your objection, allow the garnishment to go forward. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.